What's up, boys? How's it
I really wanted you to come in just hearing poo as soon as you connected to audio.
And with that,
What?
ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio, your host, as
what you're
always.
talking about.
Tonight, we're joined by the babyface one, Theo Wolski.
What's up, everybody? Poo. Poo.
Down there in the bottom square is our maitre d' services, the man with the couch, the man, the myth, the legend, the Lion's Mane, Jason Belidio.
How's it going, guys? How's it going tonight? What's up, my nerds?
And ladies and gentlemen, I want to save him for last because we really need to check in on the beating one tonight, Gerard Barrera. We need to see how he's feeling after the Lakers blew a 20-point lead to the Nuggets, going down 0-2, and they're now 0-10 over their last 10 games going back to 2022.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
So we just wanted to make sure we just got to see how Lakers
give you
Nation
plenty
is
of
doing.
time.
How are they feeling?
To just let it all out, sir.
Let's
just let
talk
the
about
feelings.
it. Let's talk about it.
Oh, it sucks. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I don't see how we're gonna come back from that. I'm like, it's possible this year is we're you know what, we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding.
You're rebuilding? Okay,
Okay.
that's the excuse. No, that's the excuse after LeBron James leaves the Lakers. Honestly,
yeah,
like,
to be perfectly honest,
we're gonna have to rebuild.
which is probably very soon, but no joke. This is a rough year. You know, they're gonna have to pull something together to get back on it, but it's insane. I mean, it's a whole new.
And the thing is, LeBron James. We were talking about this before you hopped up on the show, right? Is that LeBron James immediately blamed the officiating in the third quarter before the Nuggets started their comeback, right? That one call is what changed everything. You know, let's not forget that Anthony Davis had 0 points in the fourth quarter. And LeBron James, when it's tied at 99, had a wide open three to pretty much about seal the deal. And he bricked it.
Make it. Yep.
I mean, at the same time, for him to point out about a foul way further into the game shows that he did not have his mind in the game. He did not have the mental management in order to do the game. If he's going to blame it on that.
And what's worse is, at the end of the game, everybody at Ball Arena was chanting, "Who's your daddy?" And that goes back to last year at the championship parade. Coach Mike Malone was basically going, "Who's your daddy?" You know, when basically nobody had the Nuggets winning last year.
Right.
You've got, and what's even better is the Joker, Nikola Jokic, showed up dressed as Gru from Despicable Me the other night.
Oh, I saw that commercial.
And then
that was awesome.
Even better, they did a trailer for Despicable Me 4, and it was basically him in counseling going, you know, they keep telling me I look like Gru, and they're like, "What's the problem?" And he's like, "It's not everybody else. It's these. They just keep following me." And then he goes and opens the blinds, and it's all of the minions.
Oh my God, that's funny.
He goes like, "Guys, I'm not your boss."
Yeah. So honestly, I can feel for Lakers Nation, being that, you know, the Colorado Rockies are 5-17. So I'm understanding what losing's feeling like. However, that being said, I do hope for your sake, Jerry, that the Lakers get rid of LeBron soon and start getting players back in there, because honestly,
I mean, you know, his salary will, I believe, open up the cap a bit more, but
but they still need to afford to pay him out, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most likely they'll have him finish out his contract. I mean, if anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. You don't see Jordan missing those key shots,
and that's what a lot of the analysts are saying is, if you look at the errors, right, Michael Jordan would have closed that out.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's his wheelhouse, man. That's why.
And the other person that they're talking about that would have closed this out, and which that arena has not been the same, is the Black Mamba.
Oh yeah,
Kobe would have.
Oh yeah.
Kobe would have taken that down, and he would not have allowed that to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And
well, I mean, I would say after Shaq, that's when he really kind of like restructured and like became a leader. You know, when he became like the Black Mamba, like that's when he became a leader on the team.
And
that
team has not been, the Lakers have not been
hasn't been the same
since Kobe, you know, and no matter what. And I think that's the problem with LeBron, is that you look at everywhere he's gone. The Cavaliers, he ran people off. He didn't like playing with them, so he said, go trade them, go get other players. He did the same thing in Miami. He's done the same thing with the Lakers now. You know, he didn't like certain personnel, so he's like, go trade them out and go get, you know, a couple people. And honestly, what Denver is showing is that you don't need this big super megastar team to win a championship. They're looking, I hate to say this, they're looking like Michael Jordan's Bulls, where you have Nikola as like your quote unquote superstar, and everybody around them knows their role and is playing it well. Because that's what made the Bulls so good in the finals.
Oh yeah.
Is that you had MJ, but then you had Pippen, you had Paxson, you had Cartwright, you had Horace Grant, you know, even Rodman. You know, everybody knew what they needed to do to get things done, and that's what the Nuggets are doing right now. And I saw one, I don't remember which show it was. It was a clip I saw on TikTok, but they were saying is the time to beat the Nuggets is like the first couple of games of the playoffs, because if that machine starts going, it's done.
They move on their momentum.
So
nice.
But I will say this: your Dodgers are looking.
Yeah,
your Dodgers are looking great. Like, no joke. Like,
although I got to catch up on a couple games. I've missed some of the highlights. It's been a bit busy.
I mean, granted, they're 13-11, but you know, they've been 3-7 the last 10 games, but they've been
battling. But the games have been interesting. The games have been fun. Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. You know, you've got Show and Yamamata, you know, going. So anyways, so now that we've checked in on Jerry, Theo, Jason,
what's up?
How you fellas doing?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
As Matt knows, I've been sleeping way too much and falling asleep like an old man at 7 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
So old.
Dude.
But, other than that, doing okay. Still making adjustments with being understaffed, and still no word on whether or not we're going to backfill. So that's fun.
Oh my gosh.
And then I've got a archery tournament in 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh, dang.
I haven't picked up the bow once since September, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's there's like so much dust on the bag and everything. I gotta dust it off.
Where's it at?
Woof.
Florida.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
okay.
This year was just a fun year anyways, so it's something fun. I'll get to see everybody. Have some fun.
Yeah, there you go.
No pressure at all, period.
So when you do have your exit from the tournament, when they ask you what are you doing next, are you going to basically say you're going to Disney World?
Right. Only if I win.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Jason, how you doing?
You know, hanging out, chilling. You know,
yeah.
Nothing new to report. You know.
How's the change? No more chicken.
Oh, dude, change is amazing.
Yeah.
So good. Oh my god,
dude.
Stress.
Can we talk about that?
Work now is just dropped.
We went to Costco and got 2 things. Then stopped at the food court. We were able to feed the entire family for $8.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how they get
we
you,
got
bro.
two slices of pizza and 2 of those hot dog and sodas.
Oh
I
yeah,
get you, man.
Oh, that's
Yeah, man.
impressive.
We just shared our sodas with the boys. That's
they're
just,
awesome.
it's free refills.
Yeah.
So let's get to it tonight. We got some fun stuff to talk about. And we're gonna be doing some tearjerker moments tonight because of the latest. We're gonna actually catch up on X-Men and discuss what we've thought about the last 2 episodes. But first and foremost, so I want to get your guys' opinion on this before we kind of talk about those. Is that how do you feel about Warner Brothers CEO basically canceling Batwoman and Coyote versus Acme to get a tax write-off, which allowed him to essentially make his salary $49.6 million for this coming year?
Only 49? Only 49?
Yeah.
Only 49.
Not
I couldn't
even
believe it when
50?
I heard that, man.
Not
When
even 50?
I
Jesus, come on,
that
bro.
came on my feed, and I found the video on it, like a YouTube reviewer on the whole situation, and it's ridiculous.
So forgive my ignorance. I don't understand how a tax write-off increases your salary. I don't understand that. How does that work? Does anybody know?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
That's a tax bracket that's way above my
It's a-
league, Theo. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
like, I don't have to worry about that.
That's
Come on,
fair.
man.
Yeah.
I think
mean, I
it's
want to know that
probably I think it's more probably because what it is you take the tax write-off, which means you're
Mhm.
writing off 50 million, or however much it costs to make those movies. You're
Okay.
writing that off against your bottom line. So if you're going to get a tax credit essentially for the write-off, it's going to basically lower your taxable
How much they're going to
rate,
take out of your stuff.
how much they're actually going to take out. So basically in the end, you're making more money.
Okay, that makes sense.
But some of the rumors going around is that some of the crew haven't even been paid yet. I don't know how true that actually is, but if that is the case, that they canceled these projects to do the tax write-off so you could get more money and haven't paid the people who worked on those movies,
Mhm.
that's bullshit.
That's jacked up, bro.
That's insane.
Like,
jacked up.
honestly,
And I'm sure by now that there are obviously those are union jobs, so obviously they're covered. But so I'm sure they're in delegation right now, or something's going on by now. But the fact that it's gotten out, that's great. But that's still ridiculous. The fact that they still haven't been paid.
Mhm.
But I do know for a fact that at least they're covered by unions. But I'm sure it's gonna take a while for them to get paid, and that sucks. That's a fucked up move.
can I say, if that's
know.
true, if I am somebody that's going to go work on a Warner Brothers project, I'm going to be like, I want my money up front. I want my cheddar first. Like, it needs to be in my bank account and we're good. Like, show me the money,
Yeah, no joke.
So I think Warner Brothers isn't in a great spot. Let's be honest. Like,
Mhm.
you hope that, Gunn is going to fix the DC EU.
A lot's going to be riding on that. That's a big wheelhouse. That's a big cash cow.
And
if that doesn't work, they have the Harry Potter series that is what's going on with that right now, and that wasn't really like heavily loved when they announced that. There were people that were like happy about it, and then the other half were like skeptical at best.
I mean, that's most of the companies now. Anyways, they're trying to milk the cow dry completely. Like, just leave the cow alone. Try to do something new.
The cow alone.
Agreed.
Yes. So
move on to the chickens.
Go for it.
We're like, meet
That's
the parents.
fine.
Go try milking a cat. Just like little nipples.
Well, actually, they are doing that right now. It's called House of the Dragons.
Dragons?
Yeah.
Isn't that the Game
of
Thrones?
It's got another prequel. Well, it's still,
yeah.
You got to remember, Warner Brothers.
I heard that first season did pretty good.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So
it did. It did well.
But I mean,
So
like,
real
leave
quick.
Harry Potter alone. I feel like Harry Potter's done and over with.
So when you look at what
Almost.
Warner Brothers is responsible for, you have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom
Oh my
back in
God, that was
December.
so
You had
bad.
the Color Purple remake. You have Dune Part 2.
Mhm.
You had
That was
Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, which from everything I've seen is done really well. It's going to end up going to Amazon, I think, for
Can't wait to see that.
distribution. Then you've got something called Challengers. You've got Turtles All the Way Down, which is not related to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is just some movie. Furiosa Mad Max Saga, so they're doing a prequel to that.
That
You've
looks good.
got The
Yeah,
Watchers, which is the
one's
new
got Anya
M. Night
Taylor-Joy and
yeah,
Hemsworth.
it's the new,
Watchers
M.
looks
Night.
pretty good.
Didn't see that.
You've got Horizon, so the new Kevin Costner
That looked good.
one, Horizon, but Blink
Trap looked good
Twice.
too.
I don't know which
I don't know
one.
anything about Blink Twice.
Neither do I. Look, but it is being directed by Zoe Kravitz. But then you've got
Okay.
Beetlejuice in September. You've got the sequel to Joker.
Mm.
Like
You've got
Joaquin
It's gonna be
Phoenix's
interesting as
Joker?
well.
you've got Red One.
Joaquin Phoenix is
Yeah, he's back as the Joker
Yeah.
for this
Okay.
one, and
Yeah.
it's gonna have Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn
Mhm.
in it.
M. Night Shyamalan's
one-
new movie, The Trap. Don't forget that one. That's gonna be that looks interesting.
And then you've got a distribution only, so Lord of the Rings: The War of Rohirrim, which I haven't even heard of that one.
Never heard of that. Is Trap the one
Um,
with Hartnett in it?
Trap, yes.
mhm.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
The one at
So, and then the rest-
the concert or whatever.
Yeah, for the serial killer.
Then you look at the rest of their slate, right? You've got Superman coming in July of 25. You have Cat in the Hat coming March 6th of 2026, and then the Batman Part 2 in October 2026.
That's a long time.
There
for Batman.
isn't a ton of stuff on their calendar that is really gonna be like, hey, these are gonna be bang up movies, other than people are gonna go see Beetlejuice. That's just a given because Michael Keaton's back for it. Joker, that's a very niche movie. As much as I love DC, like Batman and stuff like that, the first Joker was interesting, but it's not one that is going to make you go to the theater like the Batman Part 2. It's not. And then they've got.
I kind of feel like with a number of those, they are actually kind of like, I would say like nearly half of those are at least original ideas rather than continued. Like Beetlejuice is a sequel. You got Twisters, which is a remake, so it's something that's already been done. I mean, Superman's been done, Batman's been done, like everything's. But I commend them for at least half of that list is original stuff.
Twisters
is a remake.
It's a sequel.
Sequel. I will say the trailer did make it look interesting. It looks. It looks like it's going to be. It says
it's a sequel, but if you watch the trailer, it's a carbon copy of the original. They're doing the exact same kinds of things.
Oh, they're Phantom Menacing. Oh, absolutely.
Isn't that? No, they're doing Force Awakens, sir.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Force Awakens. Yeah, they're doing a Force Awakens. Absolutely. But out of that trilogy, that was the best one. So I'm just saying, I think Twisters is going to be kind of the same effect. It's going to be a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's going to hit those nostalgic ties. And honestly, that'll be that. But I'm definitely curious enough to go see it, and it looks fun.
So we'll see, but honestly, I think Warner Brothers needs to get back to being Warner Brothers. And honestly, like Batwoman, I would have gone to see, honestly, just to see how they did it, because
I was very curious on
because we were gonna get Brendan Fraser as Firefly.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's take on it, because he had a very different kind of take on his background of the character. So that would have been interesting to see. Yeah.
So let's move from one side of the realm to the other. And the new Deadpool Wolverine trailer dropped this week, and
they always hit the mark with the soundtrack. The
And,
overall
okay, first
song for theme was just hilarious.
And let me pull up the tweet from Ryan Reynolds because he put out he responded in response to that whole thing that so this Twitter account called Old School 80s put out April 22nd, 1989, Madonna's Like a Prayer began a 6-week run on top of the Billboard album chart. Hashtag
So
80s
great.
on the same day, the Like a Prayer single began a 3-week run on top of the Billboard Hot 100. The trailer dropped on April 22nd, 35 years later, with Like a Prayer for the theme song. But so when you look at the Easter eggs and everything, the opening scene is Logan sitting in a bar. And already some of the Insomniacs are going, huh, that looks kind of familiar. Because what did we see in the Wolverine game trailer that's coming from Insomniac was Wolverine sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
I mean, when hasn't Wolverine been sitting at a bar?
And that's the thing is,
in any bar.
That's the other thing is like X-Men. He was
always
there.
at a bar.
Even what was it? First Class, right? When Magneto and Professor X were trying to go recruit him originally, he's at the bar and he's like, go after yourself. So they kind of recreated that.
That was funny.
Deadpool's gun, it just smile, wait for the flash.
Yeah.
And then of course, we see Logan put his head to the gun, which is typical. It's happened before. Like he's taken the bullet to the head and nothing happened, right? So this was the great scene. You've got the old 20th century
the Fox 20th Century Fox, yeah,
logo there, and that's part of the. It looks like that's part of the cover for Day After Tomorrow, like the frozen wasteland from Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's all like 20th Century Fox is kind of just in the ditch, right?
That's funny.
And then you've got you do actually get to see Logan in the actual suit that we've come to know and love, the yellow and blue. Full on suited. You've got later on you've got him coming out without the sleeves, which is great. Apparently the Copperhead's is part of related to the Marvel universe. It's a Captain America villain.
Oh,
but anyways, so we're getting Cassandra Nova as it looks like the villain.
Yep.
And
Xavier's daughter.
She is Xavier's twin.
Oh, twin.
It's his twin sister.
That's right, sister.
And
that's right, sister.
In the trailer, you see her coming out of the head of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Like the whole mask opens up and there he is. So it'll be interesting because so here's a picture of a giant Ant-Man's head, right? And people are saying if you look at these people, right, they're villains from past X-Men movies. So you've got Lady Deathstrike right there in the middle. You've got Toad, a couple of people over from her. This one is from one of the newer X-Men trilogies. First Class, right? Azazel, yeah, thank you. So in it, they're caught, Lady Deathstrike, Toad, Callisto.
Oh yeah, and Callisto, yeah.
Yeah.
That's from 3.
Which is right there from, Last Stand.
All right. I wonder if it's gonna be the same actors. That'll be interesting.
That will be interesting. So you've got Dogpool right there. And then
I can't wait to see that
into
one.
A portal.
Yeah.
Now everyone's wondering, is this Doctor Strange? Is this?
Yeah, I know, right? That's quite interesting.
Or
the 616 portal.
Or is this? Or is this Ned from Spider-Man that did this?
I would love it if it was Ned.
Oh shit! Oh, that'd be funny.
So for me, that's going to be interesting to see whether or not
there really a lot of things. I don't know. I didn't see it in that article, but I don't know if you guys caught it. They also in the trailer did the same fight choreography from Spider-Man 1 against Flash and Peter in front of the lockers. So I urge you to go watch it. They do the exact same choreography of throws and dodges. It looks good.
Yeah. So
I
then
really
at
hope,
the end,
I really hope the rumor of the all of the different variants of Deadpool are in it. I hope that rumor is true, because that would be hilarious.
Well, I mean, there is a rumor that Blake Lively is going to be
Lady Deadpool, yeah.
Lady Deadpool,
or possibly Gwenpool. No, not Gwenpool. It would be Deadpool.
Lady Deadpool, yeah.
I don't know if Blake Lively can deliver the comedy.
Oh, I think she could.
She has her own kind of timing and wit. Like, they had a good. I mean, I think that's why they kind of, you can tell their chemistry was the only great thing in Green Lantern. Like, their rapport.
But she wasn't funny in Green Lantern.
No,
yes, they had chemistry, but she wasn't funny.
But their kind of rapport and their delivery back and forth. I think she could do it. I think possibly she could do it.
Real quick, right?
Okay.
So to what we were kind of pointing out, right here is the casting on IMDb, right?
Oh my God.
You got Matthew McFadden listed as Mr. Paradox, right? But you've got Jennifer Garner as Elektra.
She's come back as Elektra.
She was a good Elektra,
That's so
though.
great.
She was a good Elektra.
Oh, I love it that they're bringing back more more of those 90s.
There's
That's great, dude.
There's talk of Cable, but then
that's awesome.
It is Yuriko.
Ray Park is coming back as Toad.
Ray Park as Toad.
Oh, sweet.
Jason Fleming is
He's back as Azazel. Sweet.
And you've got Shatterstar.
Aaron's Pyro too. Aaron
Stanford's back.
Sweet.
Oh,
He's
that's
back
good.
as Pyro.
Cool.
I liked him as Pyro.
And then you do have Louis Tan as Shatterstar, which we know Shatterstar.
He reset it. That's right. He survived.
Is for, he's Mojo's
Shatterstar was the one that he was like the alien, right?
Yeah.
But he's
he bleeds green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one that fell in the helicopter blades.
Okay.
Yeah. This guy was Shatterstar. Now the question is, which variant though are they? Is it going to be the one from Deadpool, or are we getting the Mojo guy?
No, it's Deadpool.
Are we getting,
because remember he used the time machine, so everybody survived from X-Force.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I just think it's great that we're getting all of this. Yeah. And I think what's funny is the end of the trailer, they're talking about, Blind Owl's like, you want to go do some coke? And he's like, dude, there's a list that Kevin Feige gave us. And she's going off on all the different names.
Feige's like, that's the top of the list. Like, yeah.
And furthermore, Kevin Feige has come out and said that X-Men Animated is potentially going to become canon for the MCU.
Ooh, that should be interesting.
Yeah.
So that being said, Jason's like, come on.
Jason's like, oh my God, it's Marvel starting again.
I mean, what isn't canon with Marvel nowadays? What the hell is it? Tell me.
But I mean, what wasn't canon in Marvel for the comic books either? Or in any universe. Everything's canon.
So quit your whining.
But let's just talk about
Star Wars is canon. Star Trek is canon.
No, Star Wars has a very definitive. They came out and said this stuff is canon. This stuff is legacy. The legacy stuff doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but isn't there still Bad Batch is canon? Isn't it?
Yep.
Rebels is canon.
But that's because but that's because it was all part of the actual storyline.
But it's still canon.
Yeah. So anyway, let's look at X-Men. We didn't get to talk about it last week because certain individual hadn't watched the episode yet. So
I'm glad I didn't that day, though. By the way,
holy,
okay, I know, right?
Let's talk about it.
You didn't want to come on the show crying.
It's rough.
So let's talk about
episode. I still haven't seen it.
Episode 5, but Theo, you don't care if we're talking about it.
I'm not good. I'm good. I'll probably either forget or I'll still experience it.
Major
tear jerking anyways.
Major spoilers, but
yeah, go for it.
Can we just talk about the devastation that was for Genosha?
bro.
Holy fuck. Like,
Genosha, please explain.
okay, so
The mutant city of
Genosha is
Genosha.
the island country that Magneto created for mutants to go live in.
Okay. I
They
was
were their
afraid that
own.
was like some sort of ship name for
No.
some mutants. I was like,
No.
It was
please don't do that. Please
island
don't do
nation.
that to me.
And for this episode, they were actually going to be joining the actual UN. They were going to be recognized as an actual official country.
Okay.
During the episode, you kind of see Rogue and Magneto rekindling their romance to a way.
Mhm.
But then Rogue realizes that, you know what? Her heart belongs with Gambit. Then all of a sudden you hear the Ace of Base song Happy Nation playing. And I'm like, what the hell? Cable shows up and says, stop playing the music. And then you get the basically Master Mold 2.0 show up and just lay waste.
Yeah.
And as far as we know, in the episode, Magneto and Gambit died.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Both went out like bosses, though.
And they went out like Magneto,
like
and
the scenes alone are like Theo are definitely worth to see because it's epic, dude.
And I think what surprised me most about the writing for Magneto, and I absolutely love it, is the fact is that he wanted to make sure the Morlocks were protected and saved.
Okay.
And he sent Gambit to do it. And as much as Gambit probably wanted to just lay waste to the Morlocks because of what occurred back, in the original animated show when they pretty much imprisoned the X-Men and Storm had to fight Callisto for control of the Morlocks. Gambit shows up and protects them all, gets them out, gets them to safety. And then, Magneto basically had to put up a barrier to protect, some of the Morlocks from the Super Sentinel destroying them. And then Gambit goes out like a boss. And we've never seen him energize an entire fucking object like that and nuke it. But that ripped my heart out.
The name's Gambit. Remember,
now,
yeah.
I was talking to Ray about this.
Yeah.
I know Mr. Sinister is the big bad, but could we potentially be seeing the rebirth of Apocalypse?
I'm
see
also
Gambit
kind
come
of
back.
getting that. I'm getting that a little bit. Well, that's the thing. So that's still a possibility. But remember, you did mention Cable. So I am hoping that there's maybe some sort of
workaround that he figures out a way to go back fast, farther.
Yeah, something like that, hopefully, and that saves Magneto and Gambit at some point.
But here's the problem with that, though. So first and foremost, Jason, what did you think of 5?
Dude, 5. It had a lot of. It was a good episode. Okay, and we're talking.
Make a grown man cry.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah. We were talking about it. Why we're liking 97 so much is because of the tempo of the show. Like the tempo of the show is just amazing. You start off with the whole Genosha thing. Here and there, you're splitting off to see Storm again. Like everyone's having their own little storylines. You have
the
whole the Jean and Madeline. You have the whole Scott and Jean, like all the storylines. They're showing each X-Men individually. Like they're doing a great job. Rogue, her storyline with Magneto being the leader of X-Men now. Oh, so good. So I mean, like the tempo right now is on point. The whole episode of 5 though was just literally this. It was literally the start of the roller coaster. You're going up, up, up. You're feeling good. You're like, oh man, yeah, it's good. And all of a sudden, bam, Cable shows up and like, yo, what? Like, no,
just stop it.
And then it's like, oh, hey. And then as soon as like, I'm sorry, Mom, rolls out. Oh my God. And even my wife was like, wait, that's Nathan? It's like, yeah, that's
That's when you like. That's the moment you knew, like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
Yep,
What's gonna happen?
That's their son right there.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck? Yep.
And I loved how they did the whole, because it's Madeline Pryor, right? And he acknowledges her as mom.
Yeah.
You know, and that
Yeah,
whole
it's not Jean.
that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's not Jean.
Right.
So, but
and he
so
knows
it
it's Madeline. He knows it's not Jean, right?
And
so
as soon as everything just starts going down, you know, like, yeah, you start seeing all the mutants that are just like getting picked off left and right, you know. You, as you were saying earlier, you know, you have Magneto protecting the Morlocks because they are the ones that, it's like his quote unquote children of X-Men, you know, his X-Men team, you know, kind of thing. You know, like in comparison. So he's really fond with the Morlocks, and then as soon as you see Gambit and Rogue just going off, like, you see the chemistry,
and we get to see
the chemistry even more. Like, you understand, like, throughout this whole episode, they've been playing this little cat and mouse game of emotions, and just to have it all like dump literally the last 2 seconds of the show, the fade to black. Oh my God, that last line just, oh my God. I was like, yo, like, I needed some like serious eye bleach right there. Like, it was rough, man.
Yeah.
What's rougher, but also at the same time, like in episode 5, we got Kurt back. We got Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
And
I was about to mention that too. Like, that was a bright like part of the episode too, was like, oh man, Kurt. Like,
and he was doing Nightcrawler, his Nightcrawler-esque, saving people and getting in and out. And then we get last week's episode 6, and this is what hurts more for me, because we all know I love Gambit. Gambit is my absolute favorite X-Men. He's one of my favorite comic book characters, aside from Silver Surfer and Batman. Gambit and Magneto were replaced in the opening credits by Nightcrawler and Professor X.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And it hurt. Like, not seeing Gambit as part of those opening credits hurt a lot. Like,
yeah, it switched up a lot, and
that's rough.
And
but that's kind of, I think that also adds to the, like you said, the momentum and the, you know, the
story.
The story of the show is because they update the lineups in the opening credits. That's, you know, the next week, you're feeling it again,
and none of us are like,
oh, that sucks.
And can we say this?
But I that's why I'm loving the show too, because they're really putting that much thought into it.
And us, as the kids we are completely missing the foreshadowing they're putting in those credits, because episode 6 was all about how Professor X is still fucking alive.
Yeah.
The whole time he's been hanging out with Liara rather, you know, and dealing with the Skrulls and the Kree and all of that. We got to see Ronin.
Well, in the final episode of the original series, Liara did say, we can revive him. He will regain consciousness again, but it's going to take time.
I don't think he's been dead. I think he just left.
No, I don't think he died. I think, but he was in a coma. Like that was from the original series. Like, he was in a coma, and but they called Liara to take her because she was the only one that could help wake him.
But anyway, so in the episode, right, we have Deathbird, who is Liara's sister, basically do the challenge that, hey, he's got to wipe his memory if he wants to be the king, you know, the emperor. And that was the best moment, where he's taking everybody to class. He's like, fuck all of you. Come sit your asses down, quit your bitching. And then he realizes just how much devastation is back on Earth. And he's like, I need to be with my X-Men. Go fuck yourselves. And that in and of itself, it was like, Professor X has been up, you know, with Liara all this time, and he could have been back helping, right?
Well, that also begs the question: how long did it take for her to revive him, and how long has he been awake?
And yeah, and and further, like, and we'll get back to the Cable thing, but then we also see Storm go on a basically like a spirit walk almost, and get her powers back.
That was pretty awesome how they introduced
And
the black suit.
the
Dude.
touch that we
Yeah.
got was the classic comic book black look, which
that's
was
pretty
fucking
insane.
amazing.
The fact that like they made that like kind of canon, because you first, like, in the comics, it depends on the new run, they get new looks, but like the
Yep.
way they integrated it that way, that's pretty
Correct
sweet.
was just fantastic.
That was just
So,
like a nice little, like, that was a sweet, like, heightened Easter egg.
and then she, you know, when then she, you know, she sees the devastation in Genosa. Dude, she's gonna go off. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think this is like, I can't wait for tomorrow's episode, because like even the teaser clip has Rogue going solo and going off on a military base. Like,
Oh,
she's
just
like,
yeah, and that's the other thing we forgot.
and
Imagine how pissed she is now.
like, can you imagine? Like, you just basically turn the X-Men into protectors of humanity, into now you just pissed them off, and now they're going straight for the people responsible. And we know that from the last episode, Mr. Sinister's involved. We know Trask was involved with this whole all this crap and whatnot. I do like we're getting Sinister as a villain. Like, we're actually getting to see Sinister be Mr. Sinister. Like,
Yeah,
he's
that's
just
the
gonna
other
go fuck
thing.
shit up.
I think we're gonna see him way more involved, and like, because
Yep.
like you saw him, he had kind of like a, if I remember from the original series, like it was a 3-parter or 4-parter or something.
Yeah, it wasn't that much when he kidnapped
No.
Jean Grey and
Yeah,
whatnot.
because you really, like, he kind of just appeared. They kidnapped him, and like you didn't really get to know how sick this dude really is, like, compared to the comics, because like, and I think they're gonna show like an essence of that in the cartoon, but at
he
least
is the puppet master.
yeah, we're gonna get more delve into his character, which
Yep.
that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be interesting to see.
And
he's a good character. Yeah, he's a good villain.
And I'm interested to see how Cable is going to end up playing a role in this. Like, and this is the big question I have, is if Cable does play a role in the Flash, like him going back further in time, if he figures out a way to prevent the deaths of Magneto and Gambit, what deaths replace those? And does Xavier ever come back?
Very good. Yes, good question. Also,
Also,
oh no, actually, you touched that. You touched those points. You touched.
So
those
he
points.
froze for a second.
This is like it's like Biff in the DeLorean, right? He goes back in
Yeah.
time with the sports almanac.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
You know?
That just adds more to the strength of their writing, because the whole Cable thing, that's still a monkey wrench that no matter what you're gonna want to see in each episode. Is that going to get answered, or do we have to wait till like close to the end of the series to see how that answer or how that goes? So,
and
yeah,
if they figure out a way to fully come back, do we get Bishop back? Because Bishop isn't in the opening credits anymore. But
no.
Jason, your thoughts on 6?
So I think for me, all the Professor X, like, alive, walking, you know, I think it does open the realm of bringing like the scrolls in, for sure, because one of the scenes, well, when they pan out to like the rest of the universe or the rest of the outer space, like you see, like it looked like a scroll, in the background, like a little shadow of it. I don't know if it was or not, like, but it does bring out more into this intergalactic, you know, can Earth be part of like the outer space stuff? And if so, then it does open up possibilities for different, and I know you guys know where I'm going to go with this, but it's going to open up another another spin-off of Marvel Universe lore that's going to be like X-Men 97 and a half, you know, it's going to be just more in depth where they can branch off and then tie it back together. That's what I'm thinking. It's just kind of opening it up. He's going to go back for sure. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Professor is still alive. You know, everybody's just still going to be, it might bring back Jean as the Phoenix, you know, like who knows? Like it can branch out in a million different ways, but I just think that yeah, they are gonna hopefully I think they are like in the back of my mind, I think they are gonna revive Gambit and Magneto somehow, some way, or Magneto gets it
So do I.
like Magneto's at the point of like the brink of death and he's okay, he survives, but Gambit, he's gonna get like he's gonna get morphed where he's gonna like somehow survive this again. And I hope not, like only because that hardship alone gives so much depth to character for Rogue, for the entire X-Men. Like, and I always have these conversations with some of my coworkers because they watch some animes too and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, and one of them wants me to watch One Piece, and I said no way. And he's like, why? And I told him one, it's 1,000. It's like 6,000 episodes deep. But two, I told him I was like, how many of the main characters in the entire like crew, how many have died? And he's like, none. And I was like, yeah. See, so it takes 1,200 episodes for them to stay alive and experience no hardship of a main character. Like,
so let me put this out there
there's
because
lots of hardships.
There's hardships, yes. Hardships, yes. But I mean, like,
not the loss of a character, right?
I understand where you're coming from, though.
You need a loss of a character, so then the characters grow so much more, and you feel it so much harder. Because let's take for like, and I'm only going to use it because it's like I've watched all of it. I know it. You know, like Naruto, we have main characters. No, they're not main characters, but I mean like major characters. Major characters have died. You know, first season it was literally the third Hokage. You see him die. And it starts like one of the arcs. You know, you see multiple characters die. You see more and more characters. I don't want to give too much. I mean, it's been a while, so like I mean, you see like
you're not under any spoilers at this point for
yeah.
No, like,
I mean, you see.
I agree with your point because it's the same.
Naruto,
It's kind of the same thing with
see,
Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead. You know, when Glenn died, oh my God, everyone was like, oh, all the people that read it, oh, we saw it coming. All the ones that didn't was like, what? How did you do this?
You know, and in the way they did it too, it was brutal. Like,
but once they did that, how much more was all the characters in there? So much more valuable. So much more like you could feel.
Exactly. No, I get it.
I think that same way was with the original X-Men, right? Is when Morph, we all thought he originally died, right? In the beginning of X-Men, you saw a huge character jump for Wolverine because he was like that was his
Wolverine,
wingman,
pull back,
you know, and and then eventually we know that Morph comes back later on and whatnot. I do hope that if they do manage to bring back Magneto and Gambit in some way, that it is respectful in a way to everything that Rogue is going through. Like that they just don't show up and go, hi, I'm back, I'm alive, I hope everything's good, and they just move on. Like, I hope they respect it enough to address it. That this is, what the hell? Like, how did you survive? But
can't morph it, man. You can't morph it.
Being that Gambit though basically supernovaed the Sentinel, I don't see how he survived that.
Yeah,
that was basically like an atom bomb going off.
I mean, like you even have Rogue take her take her glove off, and then she
Yeah.
still says,
Yeah.
I can't
I
feel
can't
you.
feel him.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
hurt.
That's the other thing, man. Like you can't sully
Oh,
like, those scenes were so powerful. You can't sully them. Even
mean,
in the last moments that Magneto said to the Morlocks when he knew like the force field was going to break, like you can't sully those scenes. They were too powerful.
Yes.
They meant a lot to us. So
it
like
meant even more only.
if they do alter like the timeline or do something that it better be strong and
It,
convincing.
Yes.
Like
like I said,
better be
it meant that much more because that line was said maybe 5 minutes ago. Like it was fresh, like right before
yeah.
everything happened in
Mhm.
Genosha. Like it was so
Yep.
fresh. You felt it. You
Yeah.
as soon as she said
Mhm.
it, oh, I was like, no. I even screamed. I
Mhm.
was like, this cannot be the episode. You guys saw me text it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is no, no. Like I was done, over.
Yeah, that is it's kind of the same thing as in regards to like should RDJ come back as Iron Man? Like the way he went out, the way he ended the character, for me, don't.
And ladies and
It
gentlemen, I
was
do
too
want to
good.
quote. I want to quote Jason's text to the group. It was
Yeah.
in capital letters.
In
You can
capital
tell he was
letters.
screaming in pain with
Oh
this.
my gosh.
WTF no with a bunch of O's
Yeah.
on that. That ending line, WTF. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's how we all felt. Like, and that's the funny thing is like so many I see so many TikToks about all these going, well, why'd they go and make this, because now all these kids are in their 30s and 40s, that understood the show. It's like, why did nobody want it? It's like, oh yeah, we've wanted X-Men back
Yeah.
for a very long time. And they are doing justice by the fans of the original animated show by doing this.
Oh, every episode
And,
has been incredibly strong. That's been
and
great.
it's still hard. Like I still, to Jason's point, right? That line, I can't feel him. Fuck. Like
Yeah.
Lenore, just the way she voice acted that was just
Yeah.
like her and AJ deserve, nominations for their performances for that episode alone. Right. And Gambit's gone. Like that to say Gambit is gone is hard. It's hard. Like I hope that whatever vengeance Rogue is about to wield in the next episode, I hope it's something she can come back from. Because Rogue, as some people do not know, she was initially part of what became the Brotherhood of Mutants. Because how she got the power of flight and essentially super strength is because she was hanging out with Mystique and a couple others, and she held on to Ms. Marvel at the time. Carol Danvers, as we all know as Captain Marvel from the movies, she held on too long and put Carol into a coma and sapped her actual power of flight and strength. So she does have a pseudo kind of dark side that's there.
Yeah,
And
she has a past.
I hope if she goes there, with what they're showing, that she can come back from this. Because if not, that's a whole nother problem. That's almost like dealing with Jean Grey as Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Still
So
easily one of the greatest sagas.
so to Eric and Julia Leewald, you guys catching this? 1, we love you. 2, you're welcome back on. But 3, holy fuck, guys.
Jesus.
Like
Yeah.
what you're giving us is amazing, and it's heart-wrenching at the same time.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I want to say, like, we love and hate you for it. It's
Yeah.
we
we
hate
have a
you in
bowl of
all the
cereal.
love in the world. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have a bowl of cereal when we watch them, and we're just like,
Yep.
in
Like Saturday
PJ's
cartoons.
bowl of
Pretty
cereal,
much.
like it's
I think the only thing
Disney
Disney could have done better with this is release it on a Saturday morning.
Oh,
That's the only thing they could have done better.
right?
Release it on a Saturday morning. So last but least, guys, we know E3 is dead. It ain't coming back. IGN is going to try and their hand at it. IGN Live finally got some details. We talked about this about 2 months ago. It's gonna be a 3-day event, June 7th through the 9th. At the Magic Box at the Reef in LA. According to this, they're going to have exclusive reveals, new trailers, celebrity panels, live episodes of IGN shows, demos, photo ops, exclusive merch, screenings, lounges, food trucks, live music, special guests, and more. They've got special and VIP passes. They're saying VIP passes are going to include a gift bag worth $50, priority access, reserved screening room, seating, and more. The show is going to be, it's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. And if you're looking at prices, it's $25 for each day if you just go on a single day, or it's $60 for the 3-day pass.
Which is really good.
That's
for
not
a
bad.
convention.
Very
For a
good.
convention
Yeah.
is amazing.
For a convention. So it'll be interesting with everything, because we don't know fully who's going to be there. We do know Square Enix is one of the vendors that are going to be there.
Oh, nice.
So who else really shows up from the big companies? We'll see. This did have, when I looked at it earlier, it did have a list of a lot of the confirmed studios. Now it's so it's not even
I'm
on
just
here
gonna put
anymore.
it out there. If for some reason EA decides to show up there, that's a good sign.
I don't think you'll have EA show up because they have
I don't
EA
think they will,
Live,
but
their
if they
own
do,
thing.
it's a good sign.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
So
That'll be cool.
I mean, they were the first to pull out at E3,
yep.
at least out of the big ones.
Yeah,
They
but
were?
I think it's
Oh,
so
Yeah, they were
here's
the first to pull.
my only thing with caution, as much as I want this to succeed, right? Because I think we need another actual gaming convention outside of just PAX, right?
yeah.
Here in the States. So I'd want it to succeed, but I'm also there was the list that was on there of the studios that were going to be there. And now it's not on the website. So I'm cautious, hopefully nobody pulled out already, right? That this was announced and whatnot.
And that's the thing. It is the first year, it's first iteration. It's got to grow, let's see what it does. And hopefully it's, got potential to grow and turn into something, because we need more.
Yeah, definitely.
So they are going to allow cosplay.
Okay. Oh, sick. Okay, cool.
But there are strict guidelines around what those guidelines are.
Yeah.
They're not going to allow selfie sticks or GoPro poles. So
oh wow.
You can still videotape there, but you just can't use those selfie sticks and all that. And I think that's more of a safety thing. I mean, we know
that
how
definitely is a safety thing, because I mean, if you run into somebody's hand like this, I mean, you're kind of
just a jerk.
Yeah, but sometimes you see those people's setups where it's on their setup in their backpack and their poles are super extended. I'm sure they run into demos or signs or posters or stuff like that. So I get that.
Whatever,
Cool. Yeah, but hopefully it's going to be fun. Hopefully it can grow.
Here I found it on another article. Let me grab the list here. So basically the live partners of the first round that they've announced are going to be Amazon Games, Atari, Bandai Namco, Crunchyroll, Giant Skull, Indie.io, Lenovo, Legion, Netflix, Null Games, Square Enix, and Tripwire Interactive.
So no,
it's okay. It's okay.
It's no big names.
Well,
I mean, big name, sir.
Square.
Yeah. God.
God. And some pretty known indies, independent studios. That's okay.
I want them to succeed, though. I absolutely want them to succeed, because everybody wants another fan event that they can go to. And $60 is cheap.
$60 is affordable.
$20 a day.
It really is affordable.
Is it worth flying in for though? That's the big question.
That's
like
the thing.
flying
That's why I
in, doing
think
your
that's why I think to wait and
um
see what the first thing offers, and then if it truly looks like, it looks like it might grow next year.
mhm.
That's the thing. It's going to take time for it to grow, kind of like that. So hopefully they have a decent, strong first year. That's why like that
Yeah.
lineup.
I think
Yeah,
that's why the
I
price is
agree,
so
man.
small.
I
It's
agree.
it's intro prices. It's going to go up as soon as it gains popularity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like the moment, like if EA or like you said, any of the bigger names go up, I would expect the ticket to go up too.
I think
So
it's
like, so hopefully, it looks like it's a strong year.
I think those are the ones that are confirmed and public about it. I feel like there's going to be a lot of like silent ones that just pop up.
Mhm.
But I
Um
mean, but they're going to need something in at least the next few weeks, because otherwise that's just too late of the last minute to get people
Correct.
to
no, I
come
no, I
out of
Well,
state
For
to it.
publicity,
so
for
at
for promotion, yeah, that's way
so at
too.
this point though,
Yeah.
I think releasing this kind of information though, we're now April 23rd. It's
What,
month and a
June
six
half.
7th.
weeks?
We're less than 2 months away.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
that doesn't leave a lot of time to book airfare, hotels, transportation,
but at the same time
plan all
too,
those
it's
Through
things.
hotels, you ain't getting
yeah.
nothing at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they
That's
also
6 weeks
don't want
out.
it to turn into an E3 where like thousands of people just raid the place, like
Hmm.
Hmm.
if you keep it small and you can grow it bigger, that's a lot easier rather than be like, okay, here's like 50,000 people coming through and then you're just like,
Hmm.
just kidding, guys, like,
Yep.
Firefest, hooray. So
So
I mean, the
it's
hopefully they just don't. They're not planning. I think what they're doing is they're undershooting and they're under planning it, where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, this is just like the
let's see
intro,
what year
like
one is.
Theo
This
said.
is an experiment, right? Let's do
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
smaller
yeah.
in the hopes that it blows away our expectations. So,
What?
um,
So I have a question for the
mhm.
team: is what is your hopes for it? Do you want it to end up being truly like another con, where it's like it's a bunch of pretty much public releases for teasers and chances to buy merchandise, or more of a trade show where it's more of just kind of the true insights behind stuff, um, or something different?
Ooh,
I honestly, as much as I want an E3 trade
that's a good
show
question.
esque, right? Honestly, they're starting off with it being public. You're never
Mm.
going to be able to go back. Like it's now public.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of basically what E3 ended up being towards the end, right? Where it was mostly, you had so much of the public there. I think honestly, I just want it to be successful, that it
So I'll
takes
go
care of
Comic
it,
Con esque,
Comic-Con
yeah.
esque. It gives you another like a PAX, right? Because you've got PAX up in Seattle, you've got PAX East, um, and it just gives, another kind of like event in the summer, right? When more people can kind of attend it, because it's easier for for especially with me, like having kids, they're in school, it's harder to schedule time off for that stuff. Um, but it'll be interesting though, because we've got Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley hasn't really, we don't really have an announcement on when that's going to take place and what he's going to do, because he's also had ambitions of having an E3 replacement,
Yeah.
and
Right.
him Summer Game Fest becoming that. So I want it to be successful enough that IGN Live will do it again. They'll do it again, right? To give everyone a chance, because we know Summer Game Fest is a lot harder to get into, from a media and that perspective. So that way, I hope it gives video game fans a chance to go to an event like this where they get to see new stuff that they couldn't have attended E3 before, because of tickets or whatever, or funding, because it wasn't cheap to get those, normal tickets, right? Um, I mean, we paid for it the last year, but
Yeah.
um, so we'll we'll see how it goes. Best of luck to IGN. I hope it it succeeds and that it doesn't end up becoming a bomb, right? For them.
Yeah, we're rooting for you. Please.
I am. I really am. It's just, I think the one thing that our listeners have to understand, guys, is we've been going to E3 as a unit, right, since 2014. We've seen E3 at its height, and we've seen what happens on the decline and what it was at the very end.
Yeah.
And so anytime these new shows are coming up and promising these things, we're a little skeptical because of E3. E3's jaded us. Let's be honest, right? And whatnot. So I do hope though that I want to hear, hopefully, we get some people leaving some comments on what their thoughts are on the latest episodes of X-Men, but what their thoughts on hopes for IGN Live are, right? Because E3 has been important to so many people from a memories perspective and connections perspective. How we know the story for us, right? And what E3 has meant to this podcast. So, definitely leave your comments. If it's the first time catching the show, thank you for taking time out of your night and crashing game night with us. Hopefully we gave you some, distractions from everyday life, even though we kind of talked about some very heavy X-Men episodes. But if you like the show, drop us a follow here. Head on to crashinggamenight.com. Drop us a follow on the podcast platform of your choice. And just really, guys, just with everything that's going on in life in general, just, especially for Lakers Nation, just be excellent to each other.
That's right, everybody. Once again, we want to promote the same message out there. And maybe give a pat on the back and a little like, hey, hang in there to the Laker team.
You tried.
Good game.
You
Good game.
Yeah,
give them a little good game. But yeah, we want to promote more of that message. We want to try and practice a little bit of patience. Try and be a little courteous, help out, and help out. Lend a helping hand. Give a hug or a crisp high five. Try and make someone's day, and let's just try and do and be better just a little bit. A little goes a long way, and let's just try and be better out there and promote more love and more compassion. Thank you all, and be safe. J Rock, Lion's Mane, take it.
Well, first and foremost, to answer your question, Theo, yeah, I hope it turns into more of a indie show. Not massively large as an E3, but enough where people are able to just come together like a Comic-Con-esque, where you
Or like a
have
PAX.
not as heavy.
When PAX started, type of deal.
Yeah, when PAX started.
I mean, PAX has grown exponentially over the years.
Yeah, leaps and bounds. But I mean, when it first started, where it's just like, like, and I can never say this enough, like indie studios, indie games, they are the ones that are budding the video game industry now. Like we do have
They're
a
the
lot
ones
of
with the original ideas.
Yeah, we do have a lot of remakes, remasters, things that cling on to our past was it our retro selves, our classic games and stuff like that. But you can only redo Mario, you can only redo Zelda, you can only redo Final Fantasy, Resident Evil so many times before you just can blur the games together. So indie games where it's at, I still firmly believe that those are the studios that need a lot more visibility, a lot more like love in it. Because those
Speaking of indies, if you guys haven't visited,
and
if you guys haven't visited the Nintendo eShop lately, they've got a really good sale on indies, and I bought up a bunch of stuff.
I've got a bunch of those too.
Check that out.
Hey Theo, I got one thing to say.
Oh, don't steal from him. Don't steal it from him.
I'm not done yet. That's why. Like I was like, if Matt steals it from me, that's it. Gone. What the heck, man? Can't close this
Disconnect.
out. Yeah, no, can't close this out correctly. But yeah, so hopefully, like we said, hopefully IGN Live does IGN Con, whatever we want to call it. Hopefully it does do well, like it's good to have another like Southern California one again. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a while, and yeah,
I hope it lights fire for competition for more. So that way you got like Summer Game Fest. Let's say GameSpot starts their own for some weird reason.
Oh God, help us!
Oh, bring back the GameSpot Expo,
or like a
Kotaku.
We did that a couple years, Jason.
Or do or maybe the revitalized G4 does something. I don't know, but maybe it gives us some options.
Again.
Anyways,
the rise and fall for the rise and fall of G4.
Anyways, with that.
Anyways, guys, you know how time it is, but be safe out there. What is it? The 23rd. It is almost
the end of the first third of the year. Hey, real quick, Jason, before you say it, next week, I just want to make this announcement. And we'll put out a teaser video for it. It's going to be a massive Final Fantasy VII remake rebirth episode. John Eric Bentley, Vic, Mallory, Austin, Will, Paul, and Danielle, and the voice of Reno, Arnie, will be joining us all next Tuesday night.
Dang.
Nice.
Wow.
That's gonna be a big
one. When we need one of those like reels at the end of the show, is like stay after the credits so you can see next week on Crashing Game Night.
Jason.
Anyways, like we do every week, glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully you leave us let us know what you think, what you want to hear from us. But I know one thing you want to hear from us. My man, Theowalski. Send us out like you do.
All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Till next time, TTFN. That's for now.
Good night, everybody.
It feels good.
It does. It feels good.